Hi guys, and welcome back to the course. First off, let's start by saying that your application is completely ready. You're now able to create users and to create posts from that users. So this is what we're going to do in this video. Whether you want to do and create users and posts from your terminal or from your Python file, it would be all the same. However, in this video, I will show how you can create users and posts from your Python file, and once you run the server, how to manipulate those entries. So let me demonstrate you how you can basically create a user and add that user inside your database. As you can see, here we already actually have database which was automatically generated from my tests, but I'm going to remove it because I want to start everything from scratch. Now, first off, if you want to create a database, what you need to do is to write db dot create all, and this would create a file just like the one that you just saw, and this will create you the database. Now, the next thing what I want you to add is db dot drop all, and this would make sure that if you have something left from the previous run of the server, it's going to all be removed, because you want every time when you create a server that you are able to generate new entries, so your database is not overflowed with the previous ones, and then you can again run db.create all. Okay, so this will make sure that it will create a fresh database. Now, in your database, what you can add are users and posts, since you have those classes. If you want to create more models that you want to add to your applications, you simply need to create more classes. For example, if you're running an online store, you can create a class called item and then add attributes to that item. And I will show you how you can create each and every of these modules in the database, and you can even automate that, adding some for loops or if statements. But the subject of that video is, of course, to learn how to create users and posts and how to add them into the database. So let's create user one. So user one would be equal, and then you use user class that you just created. And here you can add username equals to, let's say, John. So this will be the name of our user. Then let's create an email for John, and the email would be john@gmail.com. Let's do a password, and let's name the password also John. Okay, so we can have like easy entry. Actually, this with O and O lowercase. Okay, so this is your first user. Let's now copy that entry because we're lazy, and let's create two more, so you can have some more users. So let's create user 2, and I will call this Sam, with email sam@gmail.com, and the password will be Sam as well. And let's create user 3 with username Bill, then bill@gmail.com, and then let's do Bill here. Okay, so those are your users, but the fact that you create them don't mean that you added them into the database. In order to add something in the database, you need to do db. Actually, let me make this screen a bit bigger so you can see better. So you need to do db dot session dot add. Okay, and then you add the name of the component or the model, the instance of the model that you want to add. So you can add user 1. Okay, and we will do the same thing with the rest of the users. So user 1, user 2, and user 3. And then let's do db dot session dot add. Actually, we're ready with the adding. Now we need to do commit. Okay, so this will commit all the changes and add them into the database. Okay, so this is the final step. Now, once you have all users created, let's create posts from that users. And if you look back into our post class, usually How we create posts is using a relationship between the posts and the users, and the relationship is the user ID. So let's do here post1 would be equal to post. Okay, you can see this method is recognized, and then let's add a title. Okay, because we made the post to have title, let's write post 10, then let's write content, and this would be equal to John first post, and then let's try user underscore ID would be equal to user1 dot, and here you can choose ID. Okay, and this is how you can assign post1 to user1, which is John. So now let's again copy this and paste it a few times, and let's do post2. Okay, so let's do this as John second post, and here again I'm going to use the user ID for John, and finally let's create a third post. I will name it post 12, and this will be, let's say, Sam first post, and here I will add user 2. Okay, so you can save that, and basically you can add, as the post is a model just like the user is, you add the posts in literally the same way. So db.session.add, and then user 1, actually here is going to be post 1. Okay, and I will do exactly the same thing for the rest of our posts. So here we'll have post 2, and here we'll have post 3. Then I will do db.commit, db.session.commit, and let's save that. Okay, so as you can see, let me make a distance here. As you can see, here we create a database, then here we add users, and then here we add posts to those users. Okay, so let's get back to our server and let's run it. Okay, as you can see, the server runs properly, and here I have another window which is literally in the same directory with the same virtual environment, and here write Python. Okay, and once you write Python, you're in the Python shell. So here is how we're going to check if our users are created. So first off, I will import, so from app import, so let's import user post and db. Okay, and you can see that we just imported those services, so now we have access to them. So now in order to check on whether you have available users or posts, you can simply do user.query all. Okay, and you can see that once you do that, you have all the users that you just added inside your application, and here you see the name, the email, and also pic.png, which is the default picture that is added to those users. So this is basically what provides you that information here, this line of code. And you can really do exactly the same for the post. So if I do post.query.o, you can see all the posts with the date at which we added those and with the name of those posts, exactly as we defined here. So this is how you create posts and users. And also, as you can see, guys, here they are all created. Okay, you get 200 response, which means that everything works properly, and this is how we reach the final of our project. That's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in our next section.